want to show you guys this Yahtzee game. It's definitely a popular game. Everybody's probably already played Yahtzee, but let's look at this one. So we have the box, and it has a game guide with it so that you know how to play, especially since it might have been a while since you've played. And it comes with this pad for you to keep track of your score, which is really nice. But it's really down to the shaker. So this is what the shaker looks like. This is where you put all of the dice in. And it has these nice grips here. It's very ergonomic. I have smaller hands because I'm petite. I'm only 5 foot, so honestly, this is probably pretty realistic for a kid since this game is rated 8 and up. So this is a nice grip for a kid to have on this, and you don't have to worry about it being old and degrading because it's made out of plastic. And it comes with all the dice you need, which do have a nice little shine on them. I know this is definitely just a Yahtzee game, but they do look pretty. They have some nice rounded curves on them. I'm not going to weigh them. So you put them in, and of course you're going to shake them. I would suggest, if you can get people to do it, to take one of the boxes, probably the top box, and use it as your little play zone. So you don't have to worry about chasing after a die when it falls down off the table because it's stuck in here, and it's house rules, whatever you choose to do. And then you can see easily where they're at. You don't have to worry about the little ones cheating by picking up a die because it fell off the table and making it a 6. So I would definitely incorporate those house rules if I were you. So it's definitely a classic game that you need to play. Everybody's got to play it at least once, right? You need at least 2 players, but you can have more, and it's ages 8 and up. And it's really nice because, once you get Yahtzee, you get to shout Yahtzee, and everybody loves to do that.
Hey, Libby here with these vintage bookshelf edition board games. Today I'm going to share with you Yahtzee. So we've got here Yahtzee. As you can see, this is the dust cover that comes on all the book games to kind of keep them nice and safe. And then this is the actual book itself. One thing I do love on all of the dust covers, they have this little bio about the game, which I always think is super fun just to learn a little bit more about the history. And then one thing I love about all of them are really well packaged, so they come nestled inside themselves. They all have the little rules in case you're not familiar, or in case you have some different rules between how people grew up. All of these can nestle in here, which is super nice. I'll look at that in a second. They come with these scoreboard sets, so there's quite a few in there, so you're ready to play. Looks like this got a little bit jostled, but it comes with those coins as well for when you get a double Yahtzee. It's got 4 pencils. This is the cup to toss or to shake the die in, and then this guy actually comes out, so that way when you're playing you have a place to actually throw the die in here, and then can set them in there to keep safe while you're keeping score. So like I said, this would make a great gift idea for anyone Christmas, birthday, or Mother's Day or Father's Day. And we got this as a wedding present back in 2019, so it has stood the test of time over the last 5 years. So would definitely recommend.
Hey guys, this is a product review for Yahtzee. This is a really fun dice game. So one thing I love about it is once people know how to play it, you don't need that much equipment. You just need the dice and the shaker. And all you do is shake it out, and that's what you got for your roll. So the physical part of it is very, very simple, very easy to learn. The harder part is keeping track of the score and how to score. So you just want to take a minute and read the directions or have someone learn it and then tell people. But basically you can make points just by getting high numbers, or a Yahtzee would be to get all of one number, and that gets you 50 points. You can also do something that's similar to poker, where you can get a full house, which would be 3 of a kind and then a pair, and that would get you 25 points. They have a small straight, large straight, so they talk about what that is like. 4 of a kind, 3 of a kind, you get extra points for that. And then there's also just points for what the value of these, what the dice is actually saying, like you add that up. So you have your upper area. This is where you put each player's initial, and then you have your upper section where you do points, your lower section where you do points, which would be these, and then you add that up as a total, and then you're just competing with each other to see who ends up getting the most. And you can roll 3 times and trade in your dice or keep dice. So, you know, I might want to keep these 2 4s and maybe the 2 2s, and then just try my luck and see if I get a 4 or a 2 by shaking it in here. Whoa, yeah, so that's kind of fun, right? So that would be a full house, which gets me 25 points. And then I believe the way it works in the upper section, I would also get the 2 4s would be 8, and then the 3 2s would be 6. So I think I would get 6 up here, and then the 25 down here. So that's a good roll. Wow, I wasn't expecting to do that well on this demo, but that's the gist of it, is like you're learning the point system and keeping track of it, but the basics is you're just rolling dice. So this is very, very, very portable. You could easily take it with you a ton of different places. Yeah, so just a fun game. You can get a pretty big group of people together doing this, and yeah, just fun. Just a fun game.
Today we are comparing the 2 most popular dice games out there, Yahtzee and Farkle, to see which one is more fun and which one is worth getting. Both of these games are going to play really similar. They're highly luck-based dice games. I'll first explain how to play each of these games, and then we'll go into which one I think is best. Let's go ahead and start with how to play Yahtzee. Yahtzee is a classic dice rolling game where you have 5 dice, you have a dice roller cup right here, and you have a score sheet. On your turn, you roll the dice, and then you see what kind of options you have, because after every one of your turns you have to fill out one of these boxes. So right off the bat, looking at my roll here, I have a small straight because I have 1 2 3 4 consecutively, so I can bank these dice and I can roll this one again, and I can roll it one more time, and look at that, I got a 5. So that means that I would have a straight, and that would score me 40 points. Now Yahtzee is when you get 5 of a kind, and you have to stop rolling on your 3rd roll and take whatever you have. So if I would have gotten something else, I would have just scored that small straight, but instead I got a large straight, giving me 40 points that turn. And then it would go to the next player's turn, and they would roll the dice. They would choose to save some, re-roll others to try to get the best score in either the upper category or the lower category. Up here you can only count your 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. Then you have 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, full house, small straight, large straight, Yahtzee, and a chance. And that is how you play Yahtzee. So it's a lot of score taking, rolling dice upwards to 3 times, and passing the dice on to the next player so that they can score on their score sheet. Now let's go ahead and talk about how to play Farkle. Now Farkle is really cool because it comes in such a small package. You have the instructions, and then you have 6 dice. And the container acts as a cup to roll the dice. The goal of Farkle is to roll these dice to score these certain conditions without getting a Farkle. A Farkle is when you roll your dice and you can't set any more aside to your running score, and that means you got a Farkle and your turn is over, and you lose any running points that you would have scored by setting those other ones aside. So this is very much a game of luck and risk, and I really do love that in a game. You will need to have a piece of paper to keep track of score, and once you get 500 points on a turn, then you can start scoring your points, and the first player to reach 10,000 points wins. So let's go ahead and roll and see what I get. So right off the bat, this is a very good roll because I have 4 4s here and I have a 5 as well as a 2. And you'll notice that 5s are always worth 50 points, 1s are worth 100 points. And if I have 4 of any number, that is 1,000 points. So I would go ahead and stop my turn here because it's very likely that I'll roll this dice and I won't be able to score it. So I would go ahead and take the 1,050 points and I'd pass it over to the next player. But for example, if I would have rolled my last dice and I would have gotten a 1 or a 5 or a 4, then I could have scored that. And that means I could continue my turn rolling all 6 dice and scoring more on a running total. And that is how you play Farkle. There's a lot to love about both of these games. They have some similarities, but Farkle definitely has more risk involved. And Yahtzee is more about scoring points and getting the right combinations. But both are super fun dice games. If I had to pick one that I would choose over the other one, I would go with Farkle just because it's so small and you can pack it easily. It's so portable. You can just grab the dice, have a piece of paper or a pencil, or even keep track of the score on your phone. And it's all about rolling the dice and seeing who can get to 10,000 points first. I love this gameplay a little bit more than I do with Yahtzee, but both are fun games and I'd recommend both. Thank you so much for watching this video review and I hope that it helps.
You know, I had a funny conversation with my grandkids about things that we used to do when we were kids, when we didn't have Netflix, and we, you know, so we talked about Blockbuster and a lot of other things, but I think one of the things that we have lost is the fun that we had in board games, and so I recently bought Scrabble, and then I also bought this Yahtzee game, and so I was curious to see what might be different with the Yahtzee game, but from what I can see, everything remains the same, except this cup is a little bit different than the one I grew up with. It's not the square cup, but it is indeed the same shake and the same sound that we always had. And it's the same scorecard. Everything looks the same. And so I think it's going to be, again, some of the same family fun that we had before that I can reintroduce to my grandkids. I'm excited to play Yahtzee.
Customers find the game dice to be fun for families, easy to learn, and a good value. They mention it provides lots of family fun. The rules are simple enough for everyone to understand, and it's a quality product. Some appreciate the math skills, compactness, and nostalgia. However, some customers disagree on the dice included. It's Yahtzee, so no complaints about the game itself. I was hoping to get the new Dice Blue Cup roller as advertised though, but I got the original black roller instead. It's a bit disappointing/annoying, but not enough for me to return it and risk the packer sending me the wrong one again.